Hello, me in the past. Okay, I guess let's begin officially some Ace Attorney. So results of the test. I think I'll emulate 3DS if I want to play this. Where were we? Case 2. We're going into case 2 now because we finally defeated the evil Giorno. And now we are probably going back in time a little bit. We'll see. I've never played this. At least I never played this game, so we'll see. The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Right in here. Right in the Kokoro.
It was a ghastly tale of a winter's night. One of an invisible killer and a crime perpetrated on the pavement along Briar Road. As the victim lay at death's door, the mystery of just who had stabbed the young lady from behind had been resolved. But no sooner had my friend saved that Eastern Exchange student from his harrowing plight, than in the dim, flickering shadows of gaslight did a second bizarre crime rend the stillness of that very night. I dare say most can still recall the sensational headlines of the day. Haunted apartment of death, the condemned criminal's curse, the dread demon of coal gas.
I am...
Yet, though the great detective had at once discerned the truth upon his arrival at the scene,
Sorry to hear that.
it only proved to be the overture that announced the rising of the curtain on a most tragic play.
Also Shakespeare. Cool. And we're back with Ryunosuke. Okay. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a fledgling lawyer, just starting out on my journey. 6 months ago, I arrived as a visiting student of law. Having made the long voyage across the sea from the Empire of Japan to here, London, England. And on the way, in quite extraordinary circumstances, I made the acquaintance of a world-famous detective. Oh, we back! Currently I reside in the attic of the detective's own lodgings, from where I run my legal consultancy, of sorts. I successfully defended a number of clients in Britain's highest court, the Old Bailey. But since a particularly grueling and unforgettable legal battle 4 months ago, I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. You know what? I just remember. I haven't changed anything from the title. My gosh. Come on. You can do this. Don't. There we go. The title has changed, thank goodness. Alright. Vampire Edgeworth will come in time, hopefully. I too miss him. And is that garlic on the side? We're prepared for... No. Is that garlic or potatoes? And I'm saying it's garlic. I mean, we need to be prepared for Vampire Edgeworth, so yeah. I haven't returned to the courtroom. In truth, I lost my right to return. But that epic trial was just once more part of an epic tale. A tale which was now about to awaken from slumber. Thanks to a letter that arrived this morning from my homeland. I swear that was not me. Oh, what a delicious smell wafting up the stairs. No, 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 that was not me and you can't prove it. It must be nearly time for breakfast. I better go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite and say good morning to the great detective and his flatmate. So I'm assuming this is before one of the cases in the first game? Theory of Ophagus, yep. Sholmes' suite. Oh great! Now it's time for me to make an ass of myself by trying to voice a 10-year-old girl. Yay me.
Ah, Bruno, good. I was just about to call up to you. The bacon's ready.
No, 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 I can't. I can't. Yes, totally. Good morning, Iris. Smells delicious as usual. Before we eat, though, I have some news. Shh! Not another word, Mr. Naruhodo. It's gonna take me a while for me to relearn how I said his voices, his lines. This could be the true sting of my pre-breakfast stagnation, repelling mental stimulation, my dear fellow. Morning to you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, I see. Too close! Too close! Personal space! 6 feet! 6 feet! The truth is as clear to me as day. My faculties of observation have revealed it again. What are you talking about? You, Mr. Naruhodo, you have, this very morning, met with a surprise. Well, is that not the case? Really, my dear fellow, it barely warrants an explanation. Firstly, your hair is particularly unkempt, somewhat reminiscent of a bird's nest. How can you see me right now in real life? Like, please, I just don't do my hair like if I'm not going out. Come on. Secondly, you have neglected to fasten the third button of your jacket. Why are you looking at the buttons on my clothes? Clearly, when considered together, these two facts point to you having been flustered this morning. Oh, he got us down for rights. Can I talk now? But of course. Though I don't look for admiration, you understand? My hair always looks like this. It's been this way since I first met you. Oh, it has. And the button was ripped off last night, if you remember. By you. Hurley, put your butt mouth. Ah, yes, I recall the incident now. It was after supper, was it not? At evening events, I picked up my violin and began to play the wailing notes of a haunting tune. But then, to my utter dismay, the third string snapped. Why did it have to happen? Why? Little wonder then that in my vexation I grabbed the first button I saw and ripped it from its proper place. Well, I'd like it back now, please. It's troubling me that I can't fasten my jacket. And it's troubling me that you expect me to know where it is. Somewhere in thereabouts on the floor, one presumes. Helpful. Oh my gosh, I miss Holmes. Please, it's like, never leave. What matters at the present, my dear fellow, is simply whether or not my deduction was unerring. But Hurley, Bruno said when you came in, didn't he? I had a surprise this morning. Well, that really is a surprise. Yes, this man is the pride of the British Empire, the famous consulting detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. There can't be a single person in the world who doesn't know his name. Alright then, enough of this silly conversation. Come, I need this bacon before it gets cold. And I have a new herbal tea for you to try too. My latest special blend. And here we have Iris Wilson, Mr. Sholmes' lodger and companion. A truly exceptional young girl, who's the author of a highly successful serialization here in London. Yes, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, as published in Rand's magazine. So, Mr. Naruhodo, won't you put us out of our misery? What surprised you this fine morning? Well, I received a letter from Japan. From Susa, you mean? Has he really? That's right. And she has some rather startling news, in fact. Ah, intriguing indeed. You must tell us all about it over breakfast. Oh yes, what fun! So let's talk about it. So this is the letter that arrived from Japan this morning by International Post. Oh, how lovely! Look at Susie's beautiful writing! I wish I could read it! And how is your judicial assistant faring, may I ask? She's very well, thank you. In fact, according to what she's written, she actually appeared as a lawyer at the Japanese Supreme Court and won a case. Oh, really? Oh, isn't she wonderful? A cut above your good self, my dear fellow. I've won cases too, you know. The banter between these two. Oh, Death! I didn't know you couldn't read. If I knew that, I would definitely would help you learn your ABCs. I mean, obviously we're talking about, well, neither of us can read Japanese, so yeah, understandable. Apparently, Mr. Natsume appeared in the trial as a witness. I know, I'm just messing with you. Natsume. Nope, I don't recall that name. Of course you do. We helped the man twice. You know, in those 2 cases that took place on Briar Road 6 months ago. Here it is again. They are messing with my head. We've only had 1 case, and he's talking about 2 cases. Ah, the mustache twitchy man with the somewhat feline eyes and the mustache? He didn't have 2 mustaches, Hurley. Yes, who could forget those 2 cases? They made a very deep impression on me. Apparently not deep enough to learn the guy's name, obviously. Although I must confess, the details are a little hazy now. A very deep impression they made on you, clearly. So, what was this startling news penned by Miss Susato? Do you remember the case of the haunted lodgings, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes. It's very interesting, you know? I don't feel entirely certain that a case of that nature did not occur. It's totally forgotten then. And we're back to square one with this guy because holy crap. What's wrong with you? So was it memo? Totally. It was. He totally... Bit of spoilers. He admitted to stabbing the girl. But then he says it doesn't matter because the poisoning is what did her in. But it turns out that he actually poisoned her as well. But he was trying to paint it on somebody else. And then he was trying to be like... He was trying to be all Batman by saying, oh, I did it because of justice. It's like, Screw you, man. So yeah, it was totally memo. Anyway, in her letter... No, it's Ryunosuke talking. Anyway, in her letter, Miss Susato asked that we read over her case notes again and investigate further. So it took place half a year ago. For what purpose? Because of something that Mr. Natsume said to her, apparently. He suggested that the real reason why she was called back to Japan so suddenly might have something to do with that case of the haunted lodgings. Oh. On Mr. Natsume's return to Japan, Miss Susato's father questioned him about the case, she says, and something Mr. Natsume said appeared to trouble Professor Mikotoba, prompting him to send that telegram. Oh, that case! My brain read that as the haunted leggings. Yes. That we need a case like that. We need like a Sherlock Holmes case like that, you know. The case of the haunted leggings. I would watch that. I would read that. They just constantly make you moonwalk. No! Oh my gosh. Have you even tried to moonwalk? It's actually kind of weird. It was very strange, wasn't it? Yes. And I had compiled the whole story into a nice, neat manuscript ready for publication too. But then Hurley here was all funny about it, remember? He was pretty mean. That story must not be published yet, he said. Very mysterious as well. Really? I said that? Are you sure? Do you perhaps know something about it as well, Mr. Sholmes? About why Miss Susato was suddenly told 4 months ago she had to return to Japan? I'm curious about this. By the way, look at my badge! Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shh! Not another word. Ah, yes, I see. This would be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck. And for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I always wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely. Which leads us but to one conclusion. Your arm is in fact the particular long neck of a canine. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're so bullheaded. When you get bullheaded, you get bullheaded. I'm starting to wish I'd never show this to them now. The man's barking mad. I just needed to check that real quick. Arf! Barking mad. It's been 4 months now since we saved Susie off at the door. Since we waved Susie off at Dover. It was such a shock, wasn't it? The way she just suddenly announced she had to go back to Japan. Indeed it was, due to a telegram she received from her homeland, I believe. That's right, telling her to return urgently. Yes, because her father had passed away. No. He just said he was suffering from a high fever, the cause of which was unknown. He's not dead! But according to this letter, that news about her father's fever was just a ruse. Hey, ruse? So Susie's daddy lied to her so that she'd make the voyage back home? Why would he do that? I have to admit, I have no idea. But she believes it's almost certainly related to the case of the haunted lodgings. Screw it, it's gonna be the case of the haunted leggings from now on. Screw it. Summoning her back to Japan so suddenly like that. I wonder why Miss Susato's father is hiding. Early? Do you know what this is all about? Oh, he's already fully dressed. Well, who can say? What? But she said... Please, I have engagements, my dear fellow. My calendar is quite surprisingly full today. Keep the best leggings in the family. That was me slapping my legs, but probably didn't sound so good. It didn't feel good. And a stringent analysis of the matter would be excessive, I feel, even if I were quite at leisure. So, man the fort in my absence, weren't you, Iris? I will, Hurley. Don't worry. See you later. He's got a laugh rather quickly there. I think perhaps Professor Mikotoba isn't the only person hiding something here. You don't say! Sasaki-san was involved in 2 cases, but only one of them was forbidden from being published. By, of all people, Mr. Sholmes. I found them at last! Iris, are they? The notes about the case? That's right. Sissy and I compiled them together. The case of the haunted Loggins. Do you want to read them, Bruno? Absolutely. Thank you, Iris. I have no idea what secrets could still be hiding in the shadows of this case. But perhaps, if I read over the notes again, something might come to light. That's the spirit. Let's do this. And so, Iris and I decided to read over the case notes again together. Everything from what happened to our investigation and the fierce battle in court that followed. Reliving every detail. I just need to find a clue. And I have all the time in the world. Because of course... What? I'm no longer allowed to practice law in the Curse of Great Britain? What happened? What the hell happened? Right? It was 6 months ago. A mysterious incident that unfolded on the wintry streets of London. Oh wait, are you telling me that because of the case where that last case in the first game that ended up with a lot of problems, that's why he lost his license too? I killed it! Ah! That man will not die! Oh my god! That man will not die, will not let us... Oh. I swear if that man becomes an important factor in this next game, I am going to... Mysterious incident that unfolded in the wintry streets of London. A young woman was found lying on the snowy pavement of Briar Road with a knife in her back. Fortunately, her life was spared, but she was unconscious for several days following the incident. The fog was thick, and nobody saw her attack her, but... Oh, come on, she's a little rotund, but, you know, if she wants to call herself a woman, that's on her. I mean, I'm not one to judge. By a cruel twist of fate, a visiting Japanese student was walking behind her at the time and was duly arrested. That man was Soseki-san, and the man who effected his arrest was Mr. Sholmes. Believing in our compatriot's innocence, Susato-san and I decided to represent Soseki-san in court. And, after a grueling trial of many twists and turns, we finally managed to prove his innocence. Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Oh, you think he was all done? No, he's... What's the man's reaction after the trial? But his jubilant jubilation was short-lived. We received a telegram from Mr. Sholmes the following morning. Shh. Don't question it. Don't question it. Just let it happen. Just let it happen then. That fat guy on the court. I think I know who you're talking about. I vaguely remember who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name either. The victim of the Briar Road stabbing has regained consciousness. Hurry to Bart's at once. Yeah, that guy! That guy! Man guy, yeah. So Susato-san and I summoned a hansom and headed immediately to the hospital. Okay, so February 21st, 5:30 a.m., St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward. We've seen this one before. Guess I can need some water. There you are at last. Good morning, Mr. Holmes. I think not. Not sure you trust a hospital with a mouse. What are you talking about? That is the patient's support animal. This is patient support mouse. Do not question the mouse. Yeah, almost. I was almost there. If I had just done this a little bit sooner. I was planning for it and then it didn't happen. Just kidding. Oh! You're late. What on earth took you so long? Your telegram only arrived at 5 o'clock, Mr. Sholmes. And it's a 20-minute ride to the hospital. That's right. And it's 5:30 now. I think we made very good time. Or the cracks on the walls? It's fine. It's fine. Look, just this morning I was watching these videos about this guy who goes... Not Gordon Ramsay, but this other guy who goes to restaurants and bars and just throws a fit at very disgusting bars. You would probably go straight to the bathroom to puke just looking at the disgusting bars that he had to manage. He had to deal with. Like, I'll show you after I'm done streaming. Just a taste. Just a taste. This is nothing. The time is utterly irrelevant. The fact is, I have been waiting for what has felt like an eternity. In point of fact, I myself was awoken at 4 this morning by a telegram boy. And feeling it was somewhat unjust that I alone had been roused to such an hour, I sent one to you. Well, thanks for that. Anyway, you're here now. So, the victim is over there. She's only just regained consciousness. You should introduce yourselves, and I shall observe from here. So that's the lady who was found in the snow-covered pavement and with the knife on her back. Her name is... Ah yes, here we are. Miss Green. Okay, we need to check this one out. What's with the mouse? Mr. Naruhodo, an enormous mouse! Vermin in a hospital? That doesn't seem the best. Oh, Miss Green. Miss Green. Sounds like a character from the Clue, the game. Miss Green, Mr. Pink, Miss Rainbow. You know, those characters. But it looks like a very healthy specimen, doesn't it? It's very plump. Please tell me you are not thinking what I think you are thinking. I'm not sure we can say that's down to the excellence of this facility if that's what you were thinking. Is there anything else I want to check here before? Good morning. Let me guess, her full name is Miss Yellow Green. We'll see. Oh. Oh, she's a painter. Hi, I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan. Oh no! It was your knife that... Are you the man who... No. I'm a lawyer. And I'm Susato Mikotoba. Pleased to meet you. Oh no! Was it your knife then? Are you the one? No. I assure you, I am Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. This is gonna be a drag. Wait, what are you talking about? We heard that you regained consciousness and wanted to give you... went to come to give you your best wishes. Best wishes? For me? Thank you. I'm Olive. You were not far off. Olive Green. I'm an artist. Well, no. No, that's not right, is it? What I mean is, I'm trying to be an artist. Isn't that all of us? All of us just trying to be artists, or writers, or, you know, entertainers. Well, what I really mean is, I desperately want to be an artist. I should have a go food pone. No, please, let's not do food puns. I'm on a diet, and I already feel like I have too much on my plate. But the truth is, I don't have any talent. I know I don't. It's no wonder I was stabbed in the back. I don't think that's related, actually. Gosh, this young woman seems to bend over backwards to put herself down. Seeing as we're here, we should ask her about what happened from her perspective, I suppose. So, Miss Olive, to suddenly be struck in the back by a blade as you were walking along the pavement. What a terrible experience you had, Miss Green. It was so cold that day, and the fog was so thick, I couldn't see a thing. That was 4 days ago, I think. Isn't that right? Yes, that's right. I'm afraid you've been comatose all that time. Why, the case has been solved, hasn't it? Well, I've been here in the hospital, I mean. We didn't find the culprit in that case. We just found out that he was not guilty. That Soseki-san was not guilty. Indeed it has, my dear madam. Spectacularly by none other than I, Herlock Sholmes. It's me, I did. Why did you kill the do you not want any more artists in this world? What's wrong with you, Wind? Mr. Sholmes! As well, you know, it was Mr. Naruhodo's hard work in court that solved the case. There can only be one! If her name is Olive Green, shouldn't her full name be Olive Garden Green? No. No, that's her name of her. That's her name of her backyard garden. The Olive Green Garden. Double references. Yes, I'm afraid so. Wait, did I just skip over A? No, I did not. No, you did. Are you yet to hear what happened, Miss Green? Yes, I'm afraid so. A gentleman from the police force is supposed to be coming to fill me in shortly. Oh, I see. Me coming around seems to have made everyone frantically pissy. I'm sorry. I should have never regained consciousness. It was selfish of me. Oh, no. We're also relieved that you were on the mend, Miss Green. We really are. With that kind of attitude, maybe her surname should be Blue, not Green. Let me guess. Berry Blue. Outside I'm laughing, but inside I'm suffering. So, you're an artist, aren't you, Miss Green? Oh, no, I couldn't possibly claim that. I'm a fledgling artist at best. Man, are we on a pun today, huh? It's just the jokes write themselves, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I blanked out for a second. I mean, I'm a student of art, really? At the Thorndyke Academy of Fine Arts. Yes, they do, and I hate it. Oh my, an Academy of Fine Arts. Great Britain is such a wonderful country. Tell me, Miss Green, did you live hereabouts? Oh no, actually, I don't deserve it, but I have a little flat in Brixton Road. I see. How very interesting. Oh no, is it? Brixton is some 10 stops away from the underground from here. And Thorndyke Academy is a mere 3-minute walk from Brixton's town center. Does that matter, Mr. Sholmes? Perhaps not, but Briar Road is a far less salubrious part of town by comparison, dwelt in by those of inferior means, including the maleficent Mr. Mustache. Inferior means? I suppose Soseki-san does fit the bill. I mean, he does look the part, as we've seen very clearly before. It struck me as somewhat out of the ordinary for a young fine art student to be walking in such a district. That's all. Something you have to say about yourself, Miss Green? I gotta say, it does seem that this lady doesn't eat her greens. What's this? She suddenly climbed up. Mr. Sholmes, you should be ashamed of yourself. Prying into a young maiden's private affairs? Oh dear, do forgive me. If you don't mind. I'm being discharged shortly, so I need to pack up my things. Oh, she's not comfortable with us anymore. Oh, yes, of course. We won't keep you. Thank you so much, Miss Green. Guess there's nothing more to do with her. Why is there this? This rounded wooden figure isn't the most charming, is it? It was her. She stabbed herself in the back. You know, even the thinnest persons have people have problems, you know, reaching to the back. How the hell? Like, how do you figure that out unless you think that she's some sort of like mutant? You know what? Considering the Ace Attorney series, a mutant is not far off. Just saying. I don't think there's a decoration, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an artist's mannequin, I believe, used when practicing sketching the human form in different poses. Really? It's not exactly what you call a typical figure for that purpose, though, is it? No, I suppose not. I confess I've never seen one quite so full-figured before. Well, if you want to draw a full-figured person, it's the right tool for the job. Sheesh. So can we move away from here? Okay, let's go back home. (21st of February). Oh, there's nothing here? What? Oh, we... Okay, so we're not done here. We're not done here. Let's continue exploring then. There are lots of bottles in the cabinet, aren't there? You think it's safe to keep them like that? If you were a patient here, I feel sure you'd take some medicine by mistake when you were half asleep. What do you take me for? That is a worry. But at least the cabinet... Sorry. But at least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy looking one. Yeah, you get it, Death. Oh, and now that you managed to unlock that somehow while you were half asleep as well. She's secretly a contortionist. Oh, so that's it. She's actually just like scrunching her legs up, and that's how she looks like that right now. She's really just contortioning herself inside her body. That's why she looks like a ball and everything. And oh my gosh, I think I'm just gonna get cancelled. There are limits to even what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Mr. Sato. Oh, this is like the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Do not... Game? What is this? Why are you telling the people not to feed her? Like, what are you... The game. This game. What is this place, a zoo? I can't. I can't with this game sometimes. You know, I seem to remember seeing an almost identical sign in our local park. For the pigeons, yes. This is a person. Poor woman. I hope she hasn't read this. Oh, wait a minute. There's another... Why is there another one? This is like the treatment notes for whoever's occupying this bed. Let's see. Do not permit to run around the hospital. Patient doesn't seem to be here at the moment, so... Well, he or she is probably run around the hospital then. Oh dear, how worrying. What's worrying is why they haven't discharged the patient yet. Wait, we are not done yet? What else do I need to explore here? Look, there's a photograph in this frame here. Oh! You know what? Maybe it's the back. Maybe it's the back. But also this. Look at it. A picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. What if they're dating? What if this... A, brother. B, husband or boyfriend. C, completely unrelated. But you know what? It's easier to think that these two are related. In some way or so. Perhaps the young woman's special someone, do you think? My Miss Naruhodo. I didn't know you had a sense for the matters of the heart. Not in the least. I sincerely said the first thing I thought of. Oh my god. Why am I Ryunosuke? How green? That's not... You don't mean... No. You don't think that that's green. No, come on. Oh, there we go. That's what I need to explore. Is there a Mr. Naruhodo here? Mr. Naruhodo! Naruhodo now. It took me a hot minute to realize they were talking about Ryunosuke there. Well, if you're looking for Naruhodo, the lawyer, that's me, but... Ah, Mr. Naruhodo! Good. This is for you. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutmeg. Oh my god. Do I sound like that when I'm trying to mention names in another language? Please. If I do, and... No! I know! If I'm ever in person and I say names like that, please come to me and slap me. Oh, I love the Ace Attorney series. They have the balls to do this sort of stuff. It's a message from Mr. Saucy Nutmeg. Oh, I can't keep a straight face. Mr. Natsume sent a message to me. But why would a policeman be delivering a message from Mr. Natsume? Exactly, what's going on? What's the Scotland Yard constable doing playing delivery boy at this time in the morning? Ah, what are you waiting for? Let me see that. Oi! Well, this is most unexpected. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes? That's my letter. I should be reading it, not you. Is something wrong, Mr. Sholmes, he says. Have you not seen this note? No? How could I have? It would seem that London's criminals have no intention of letting the great detective rest. A new case calls. A case of murder, no less. We must depart. At once. Murder? Call a cab. Time is of the essence. But the trouble is, we've yet to read Mr. Natsume's note. I was thinking we ought to pay him a visit on his lodgings once we did. That will be entirely convenient. Convenient? What do you mean? It's all here in the note, my dear fellows. The murder we must investigate took place at Mr. Mustache's lodgings. Wait, what? I'll hail Fiars at once. However you pronounce that word, Fiars, yeah. If anybody knows how to say that, please. Okay, it was only yesterday that Sosuke-san was in court and we were dispelling doubts about his innocence. And now, the very next day, there's a murder at the man's own address? He may very well be the unluckiest man alive. Okay, if you remember the first game, when we were dealing with this case, the original case where this woman was stabbed, we saw one man, one person, and he had nothing to do with that case. He just appeared once, came, went, and that was it. Like attacking aggressively. Yeah. Just going there fiercely. I think this case is gonna have to deal with that person. But how? We'll see. Or so it seemed to us at the time, but we were soon to discover it was worse than we thought. Cutscene? No, not cutscene. Now we are Mr. Natsume's lodging at the ground floor. Oh, he's dead. What on earth? Oh my, the gentleman is deceased without question. He's dead. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruto Esquire. Mr. Natsume. Oh, why? Why is this happening? Why to me? I've only just got out of court yesterday. I was finally able to meet after 2 days of misery. And then I wake up and next thing to this. No early bird should catch a worm like this. Waffle worm without wiggle. I don't want to know about the wiggles of your worm. Thank you. Please keep it in your pants. I see you're in high spirits again this morning, Mr. Mustache. Ah! Not the horrible Herlock Sholmes! Not including Soseki? Who is he? Oh, the man in the background? He's a man we saw exactly once in the first game, and never again. And now he appears that he's dead. So, I don't know what's going on here, honestly. Shoo! Shove off and show yourself to the door! I never invited you! Mr. Sholmes came here with us. I'm quite sure he'll be able to help you, Mr. Natsume. I am entirely at your disposal, Mr. Mustache. What can I do for you? Oh, and this is dude. Here they are, already. The busybodies. Ah, Inspector Gregson. A pleasant surprise. Pleasant, is it? Makes me heartburn every time I see your face at a crime scene, Sholmes. Ha, I deduce, Inspector, that your heartburn is a result of your excessive consumption of fried food. Thanks, Bruno. How's your fish and chips? Honestly, I kind of want fish and chips now, because if I see them I see them there and just want them a little bit. I wonder if they sell them here, where I live, nearby, or maybe I can just make them. I just don't want the whole house to smell like fish. That's the thing. I should look into it though. Man, now I'm hungry. I ate already. I ate and I'm hungry again. No. Stomach, no. This is a crime scene. Are you gonna touch anything? Or good morning to you, sunshine? That could also work. Generally, no, I don't like fish. Except sushi, yeah. I generally don't like fish, but I'll eat it if I have to. And if it's well made, then yeah. Oh, I've never tried sushi though. I don't know if I would stomach it because... Oh, she's never left. She's just like too busy with Pokemon. She's just been playing Pokemon for like ever since she got it a couple days ago, and she hasn't slept since. So yeah, she'll eventually beat it. I love messing with her. I have slept. Yeah, now you're doing the DLC, the free update that came out just today. Are you enjoying Horde mode? Okay, so we're not talking with anybody. Let's look at the victim, because... Holy moly. Oh, I say hands off! You're gonna mess up my crime scene. No, I just wanted to look, is all. No chance. I know you're kind. You just mess it up by just looking at it. Someone's in a bad mood. There's certainly some bad air here, isn't there? Alright, sounds like I'd better talk to the inspector first and try to curry some favor. Nah, stop to like do homework. Not bad for a UK accent. I have never been in the UK, and I have met a grand total of 3 people from there. So all of my made-up UK accents, which is, I'm gonna say it, but probably potentially positively awful, it's based off TV. So yeah. So should we talk with you, boy? What's this guy's looking at that guy's butt? No, why? Why do you have to say that? What a terrible thing to have happened. If only the... It's only been 3 days since I was arrested for the incident on the pavement outside. And then, having finally regained my freedom, it starts happening all over again. Endless existence of excruciating experiences. So the victim lived here on the ground floor and your room is just 1 story up, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In a way, we were neighbors, I suppose. So, did you know the victim? Were you friends? I'm gonna take that as a no. Wait. Do you need a pen and paper to write your message? What's the matter with Soseki-san now? It was an innocent enough question, wasn't it? Why does he seem so shaken by it? Do you need like an oxygen tank? Do you need to lay down and rest? I'm gonna call a therapist for you. Well, I suppose he wasn't a complete stranger. Did he never invite me to his room? Never! In my honor, I swear it. What an extreme reaction. Yep, I'm gonna assume he done something. I don't think he killed him, but I think he definitely did something that it's gonna be a problem for our case. You're probably wishing you'd never asked now, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, I know. When we found him here, I felt wretched, which is why I sent word asking you to come. Through that inspector over there. Okay, so we're gonna have to talk to the inspector before we can do anything here. Hey! So, Inspector? What was the victim's name? Who was he? Didn't I say it at the beginning that we were dealing with Shakespeare here? Ah. Mr. William Shakespeare. He was a lodger here. As you can probably tell, he was an actor. A bit of a dead loss, as it happens, or just dead. Mr. Shakespeare. It was the landlord, old Mr. Garidab, and the older lodger, Mr. Nasome, who found him. The fellow didn't rise at his usual hour, so Garidab got worried and kicked the door down. The stupid Mr. Garidab. He gave me so many troubles before already. But doesn't Mr. Garidab have a bad leg? Oh yeah, you're right there. It was a jittery Japanese hunchback over there who actually did the kicking. Really? Soseki-san. The victim was pretty hard up, it seems. Even done some time inside for petty crimes. He had no money, no place to go, no friends. Only acquaintances for people in this house. Miserable life, and a miserable end to it. So, what exactly is Mr. Natsume doing here? He's not involved in the investigation, so shouldn't you have sent him away from the crime scene? Well, I'm not saying it's because the fellow looks odd or anything, or that he's suspicious. But I thought it would be prudent to take a statement from the cohabiter. Gregson, are we... You nearly said culprit there, didn't you? Oh dear. Mr. Natsume appears to be under suspicion again. It certainly seems that way. He does just comes across as such an odd fellow, doesn't he? Poor man. How unfortunate. Of course he is, yep. Of course. I mean, look at him. He has such a guilty face. Look at him. It's like he has "I did it" written all over it. Of course, he didn't do it, but I'm pretty sure he didn't do it. I mean, this is a case in the past, and we already seen the previous case was in a time in the future, so we already know he's innocent. Anyway, can't say much until the coroner gets here. But I don't think the fella's been a goner that long. The body's still warm. Even if the inspector would allow it, I don't think I could bring myself to touch a dead body. So can we examine everything else? Are we waiting for the coroner? Oh! Hi there! How are you? How long have you been there? Doing that pose? Mr. Sholmes? What are you doing? Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. You need only observe, know it, my dear fellow. Investigating, naturally. There's nothing natural about that pose. Mr. Sholmes, have you made some miraculous discovery? Patience, my dear madame, patience. We've not been here in this room for 5 minutes. And all this talk that we've done, so far, all I've managed to deduce is what actually happened. Really? Don't tell me. Sholmes is going to implicate Nats Soseki-san, because of course he will. My goodness! But isn't that everything we need to know, Mr. Sholmes? Now that you propose the idea, I believe one could indeed see it that way. At the present time, I have managed to draw 2 incontrovertible conclusions. The first, that there was a physical struggle here last night, in which the victim fought for his life. Mr. Natsume was wrong. It's something that Mr. Sholmes said significant somehow. No, don't mind me. Forget I was here. And my second conclusion is that there was a poison lingering in the air here last night that passed the victim's lips. That's the nonsense! Alright, Mr. Natsume. Why are you reacting so extremely to Mr. Sholmes' seductions? exactly. I mean, I was just saying what was in my mind. No, please. Pretend I'm not here. It's kind of hard to do that when you're doing this. Just saying. Invisible, ineffable, inscrutable, insignificant. Impossible to ignore. Damn it. I want to know it like a book. You must tell us everything, Mr. Sholmes. Spare no detail. But of course. Let the theatrical tragedy before us be unraveled by my great deductions, presented for your pleasure in 2 acts. Oh, we're doing this. We've heard some truly astonishing great deductions from Mr. Sholmes in the past, although they've all been wrong and I had to fix them just to make them correct. No doubt this will be no exception. What miracles will unfold before our eyes this time? My dear fellows, for your delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for the Sherlock Sholmes Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. Okay, let's do this! The game is afoot! Alright, tell me about what you think the cause of death is. Tell me, Sholmes. Careful observation of the victim reveals the events that transpired in this disconsolate room last night. Foam at the mouth of the deceased clearly indicates the use of poison. Huh. Next to the victim, we notice a large dining plate, which contains, you will observe, 1/2 of a sizable bar of soap. Meaningful, indubitably. He does look like Shakespeare. I guess? But Shakespeare was long before the era of I was gonna say Sherlock Sholmes. Yeah, but Shakespeare was first. And then it was, oh my gosh, Sherlock Holmes. That's the original character. So having them both in the same era. When's King Kong coming in? Ask the real question. Why is this soap set so purposely upon the dish? Like the victim's last supper, in fact. Yes. Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course, the fork reveals the answer. He's looking at us like, this man's an idiot. It appears that the young man's apprentice was his undoing. Taking up arms in the form of his cutlery, the victim engaged in a deadly battle for his life. We know, yes we know. Yet the struggle against his hunger was in vain, for in the end he couldn't resist devouring the slippery feast. But London's foul soap is besmirched by foul poison. Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Soap and the lather about the young man's mouth are too perfectly matched to ignore. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to excessive ingestion of foul soap. What? So personally, I have greater interest in the taste of foul candle wax for sure. Poisoning from soap? No. This is no. Like at first I was in on it because it's like poisoning. That could be it. But soap, are you serious right now? The cause of death identified, we proceed to Act 2, where we ponder the next question. Was it suicide or murder? The audience will recall that death occurred during the victim's last supper. Did the man dine and die alone? This single teacup suggests the answer. So, let's see. No, I mean, Butter is not so bad a choice, but soap? Seriously? Dear, you seem to have forgotten how Sholmes acts. Sholmes is an absolute idiot in this case. To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. The careful criminal could have absconded with his own cup to cover his tracks. Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. Oh my gosh, Soseki is like, shake, 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 shake. Like you just put your cup of chocolate milk on his hands and get it back in like a minute, you get chocolate shake. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is the we already know about the broken lock. Through force open now at the time of incident, this door was locked. And the sole key was in the victim's pocket. In other words, when the victim consumed the poison, he must have been alone. Alone with his inferior soap, from whence he wafted an inferior scent. And with that acrid aroma lingering in the air, the victim met his hand in tragic solitude. So, you're suggesting that he offed himself. We can take comfort only in the fact that his soul was well cleansed on his way to the hereafter. Conclusion: no possible perpetrator present. So, you're suggesting that it was suicide. Okay. Oh! This concludes the final act of Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction. Let me poke it. Boop, boop. I know, Susato. There's so much to go through there. There is so much wrong with this. There's just one thing, Mr. Sholmes. You are disposed to identify just one thing, aren't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Pray, what concerns you? Well, no matter how hungry he was, do you really think the man would have eaten soap? It is quite apparent that this man had barely a penny to his name. It is a curious thing, but to one so destitute, soap can suddenly appear quite irresistibly appetizing. How extraordinary. In truth, I have tried a little soap myself in the past. You've eaten it, you mean? Like, come on, I'm poor, but not that poor. Are you speaking from... What were you trying to say about me, Wend? No? Come on. I'm an idiot, but not that big an idiot. My dear fellow, it was some time ago. My postulation was that it would cleanse my gut. And did it? As I writhed in agony on the floor and split the contents of my stomach, yes, I believe it did. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sholmes has tried everything. Think of a drug. Sholmes has tried it. Oh, that new thing, lean? Sholmes has done it. The evidence taught me a valuable lesson. Soap is quite poisonous. It is also it has an unpleasant taste and leads to great discomfort. In summary, I cannot recommend it. How stupid is he? The answer is yes. Believe me, I wouldn't eat it even if you did. Or at least how bold he is. The answer also is yes. There's something that troubles me as well, actually. Huh? What's that? It's Mr. Natsume. Oh! I couldn't help noticing him shuddering and quivering out of the corner of my eye. You didn't have to look out of the corner of your eye. He was like all over the place. Almost as if Mr. Jones's deductions touch a nerve somehow. Nonsense! Well, that clenched teeth episode didn't last. Just agreed. Yes, exactly. I think, judging by Mr. Natsume's reactions, the great detective's deductions may need some gentle corrections in order to reach the actual truth. Yes, Mr. Sean's observations and deductions are sometimes a little too sharp. He has a tendency of hitting the nail on the side of the head and driving it at an obtuse angle. I didn't hear corrections. What do you mean? I speak perfect English. I speak the perfect Queen's English here. Of course, no. Whatever do you mean? We are not in a place of such lewdness, my dear Wind. Okay? You better get those awful, dirty thoughts off your mind, or else I'll make you get those thoughts off with soap. I'll make you eat soap. Okay, that's enough of that. Puerto Rican, everybody. No. My Puerto Rican would be like, "Mera chica, just stop it with the BS, okay? Stop it, or you're gonna get the chancla." All right then, let's see what we can do. Yes, when we speak out the keywords in Mr. Sean's quite brilliant deductions, and discreetly exchange it for something that makes a little more sense. Okay, so they're tutorializing this again because this is technically another game. Not what I'm referring, but close enough. Yeah. If we can do that, I'm sure we'll arrive at what Mr. Sean's meant to say in the first place. In that case, are you ready for the second performance of the day? Once again, my dear fellows, for your continued delight and wonder, let the curtain rise for Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular, Act 1. Alright. Let's see what we can fix. So what we know already, care for subject victim, next to the events just part of this concept from last night. Comment the manifest. Use of poison. Okay, here's a first problem. Observe. Oh, wait. Do I need to stop him? Wait, do I need to stop him? No, not your auto. Fork reveals the answer? Oh, no. It stops for me. Good. Well, you can't deny that a fork implies the man was eating something or about to eat something. Yes, that's true. If I were to describe to eat some soap, I would prefer to use a fork than attempt it with chopsticks. Well, both options are better than the spoon, that's for sure. And of course, only half the bar soap is left on the plate. But might there not be some other explanation? Something material that proves whether or not the man really ate some soap. Let's see. Okay, there's the key cup. Okay. Let's see the fork real quick. Suppose you ate soap with a fork, wouldn't you? I don't think it's a question of which implement you use. You should eat soap, full stop. But then why? Why does the man have a fork in his hand? Oh dear, I understand your frustration, Miss Naruhada, but please don't take it out on me. The point is, if we decide the man uses fork to eat the soap, we wouldn't be changing Mr. Sean's deduction. So we really ought to consider some other clues. Okay, the soap is not it. Not this thing in the back. Wait a minute. No, no, sorry. That's. I thought that was a. This is. I thought this was a dog bowl. This is actually his hat. Okay. So what's this? Do you think he was drinking tea with this, with his soap? The cup's empty, so there's no way of knowing. Ah! How about this for an idea? Perhaps the cup was full of water, and he was dissolving soap in it so he could gulp as much down as possible? Please remember that he may not actually have been the soap lover he's been made out to be. Okay. So, did the victim really eat some soap? Is there anything else? Like, the soap looked like it was bitten into actually, but... Is there anything else? Well, there's nothing else, it's just two things, the fork and the... Let's see, do I... But it's not like letting me like select it. Like when I try to select it, the cursor changes like this. Wait, what? I saw that. I totally saw that. What are you talking about? Look, there's more soap on the floor here. Mr. Shakespeare must have really loved this stuff. Let's not jump to conclusions, Mr. Naruhodo. Look closely at this soap. Did you see that it would fit together perfectly with the puff bar on the table? What the? How can that... I swear, Naruhodo, if Sholmes is an idiot, you're an even bigger one. I think... that there are two halves of the same bar that broke apart. Okay. So let's present this.
Take that!
Could it be that the man was about to eat it? Of course. The other piece of soap reveals the answer. It being the other half of the soap on the table. In short, the victim was not eating soap at all. But it's obvious, really, for no depths of hunger could drive any man to attempt to eat soap. Ryunosuke's face is like, what the hell are you talking about, bitch? You already ate soap. Even I, with my unquenchable thirst for practical knowledge, took only a single bite. My God. Nobody believes you. But that begs the question of how the man was poisoned, because there's no sign of any food on the table. An excellent observation, Mr. Naruhodo, and one that furnishes us with the answer we seek. Okay, so for Lonsanto, okay, we've read this one already. Yes, the victim's eyes can poison that tainted the contents of the plate. Mr. Sholmes is still pushing the soap argument then? That dance. He was boxing actually. He was like doing the boxing thing. Although boxing could be considered could be used for dancing, I guess. Dancing in the ring. Perhaps he's suggesting the man licked the soap rather than ate it. If soap in London is that poisonous, I don't think I want to be washing my hands with it. But there are no signs of any food in this room at all. Of course, food isn't the only thing that passes people's lips, is it? Yep, and that's what we're looking at. The contents of the plate is just the soap again, is it? Well, you notice the saying in Japanese, don't you? Oh, so he knocked him out. Yeah. Mama say knock you out. If your food is poisoned, you might as well eat it plate and all. Well, there's an image. All I can picture now is the victim first taking a bite of the soap and then the plate. The soap? Like some tofu on the plate like a giant rice cracker. Believe me, that plate would be tougher than any rice cracker. Oh dear, that sounds like a very bland combination. Yeah, throw in like a ham or something. Can we check? No, we can't check this. What the heck? The victim's lives were claimed by poison that tainted the contents of the plate. I've always been wondering about this, but I can't. Wait, can I? No, that's just a teacup. The teacup again. Yes, a Western vessel for the serving of infusions of dried tea leaves. It's a teacup, Mr. Naruhodo. As you well know, stop putting on airs. And it's empty. So we already established that the victim wasn't eating soap when he died. However, there's a significant evidence to suggest that he was drinking tea. My thoughts exactly. On the ground? Honestly, I don't see anything. I see his shoes, but nothing else. Could it be the bell? No, I'm pretty sure it's the teacup. The contents of the teacup, actually. Let's try that.
Take that!
Yes, the victim's life was claimed by poison that tainted the teacup. Indeed, cups have been the vessel of choice for practicing poisoners over the centuries. And it would appear that this victim drank every last drop. There's no sign of food anywhere in the room, which leads us to the immutable conclusion. The cause of death was clearly intoxication due to ingestion of poison containing his teacup. See how much easier that is? See how much sense that makes, Chorms? Why do you have to go for the soap angle? Poison in the tea. But how did he get that tea? And the cause identified. Act 2, the question. Was this suicide or murder? Audience recalled that occurred within the victim's last supper. Did the man die and die alone? This single teacup suggests the answer. The Western vessel for infused hot drinks again. It's already featured heavily in our deductions so far. Yes, we can imagine that surely before his death, Mr. Shansper was having a drink of tea. Knockout from that guy. Oh, you mean Mr. Sosuke did a just kick them out? I don't think he has the gall to do that. There will be nothing remarkable about that, but what troubles me is Mr. Natsume's reaction when he heard Mr. Sholmes suggested. There's more to this deduction than it seems. We must closely examine the scene of the crime again. Where's some more clues? Wait a minute. Where did this come from? Whoa. Two things. First, this. Second, this one doesn't have the rim. Doesn't have this rim. You see this rim here on the inside, which I think was made because of the tea. This other cup doesn't have that rim. So what gives? Anyway, this is the thing. It's another one. It's a teacup. Even Susato is done with your BS. Where's the third person? That's what we're trying to figure out now. And it too is empty. Given that he's actually holding this one in his hand, You can assume that this is the cup from which Mr. Shakespeare was actually drinking. But if that's the case, this changes everything. Everything we've deduced up until now is turned on its head. I have a bad feeling about this. I almost don't want to say it. Yes, I know exactly how you feel. The second we bring this up, the second we have to defend Sosuke in court again. Oh, here we go.
Take that!
Alright. The man died and die alone? This other teacup suggests the answer. Yes, it is. Yes, there were 2 teacups in this room all along. Ah! In other words, this is a strong indication at the victim's Last Supper, there was a guest present. That looks a lot like the landlord, though. At the very least, we can say now with certainty that somebody else was here in this room last night, taking tea with the victim. What are you talking about? Utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable! To draw a conclusion on such meager evidence would be foolish, however, certainly. In which case, what more can we deduce about this possible guest at the table? Well, allow me to lift the veil of doubt, my dear fellow. So you mean to say you know who exactly was in this room at the time of the victim's death? Wait, Jack Ripper. The mystery killer who was never found. Yes! Thank you! Perfect! Love it! It's Jack Ripper. Perfect. That's it. We got it. Okay, so it's over. It's done. Stream's over. We got the case. We don't need to be here anymore. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, but for reals. If it actually turns out to be Jack the Ripper or somebody like that, I would be like actually shocked. Okay. Hold up with that broken lock for a second, sorry. I'm not sure I like where this deduction is going now. I'm afraid it's too late to go back to the halcyon days of eating too much soap. You know, we could have gone back, we could have stuck with the eating soap theory and everybody would have been happy. But the identity of the guest who was in here last night when the victim passed away is something I have a very bad feeling about. Well, you can try to ignore your feelings, but we cannot ignore the truth, Mr. Naruhado. No, I suppose not. Time to look around again. So we know there's a broken lock. Candle. Who? No, not the candle! I pressed the wrong button. Candles become shorter the longer they burn. And yet this candle is still rather long. In other words, it's highly likely that somebody else was in here to light it long after the victim died. Quite the glowing answer, Mr. Naruhodo. However, you appear to have overlooked the possibility that a police officer lit the candle. You will need to burn brighter than that to make a great detective, my dear fellow. Yeah, I misclicked. I didn't think it was actually the candle, but you know, the whole point of this exercise is to fix your mistakes, isn't it? Not mine. Okay, let's try again. Okay, let's try again. Let's not go on the candle. Okay, let's check the lock real quick. Oh dear, the latch is most definitely broken, isn't it? The door was kicked in by Mr. Natsume according to what Kirita told the inspector. Who knew these short, thin little legs had so much strength in them? I'm not sure the length of his legs is in any way significant here. Perhaps it says more about the poor state of the door than about Mr. Natsume's strength, actually. Careful. If you ever heard that remark, you'd almost certainly have a lively response. Oh no, can this broken lock really tell us anything about who was here? Glasses that we can click on. Empty bottle. What's with the empty bottle though? Totally. It's empty. Empty of liquid, but full of air. That makes you think, doesn't it? It makes me think that you're full of hot air. Wow. You should be thinking about who else was in the room at the time. Bother. Susato-san's scraping response was cleverer than my original riddle. Pile of books. At first glance, it seems that the only thing in this room are the makeshift stage and the costumes. I overlooked these 3 books initially. Oh no. Oh no. Ah. The books. I wonder what they are. Let's see. The titles read... The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, Contemporary Yearnings, and A Meal for Gabriel? Wait. I'm sure I've heard those titles before. So have I. So have I. Soseki-san, what are you doing to me? It could just be an incredible coincidence, but they're the exact same 3 books that Mr. Natsume purchased the other day. What? Yes, on the day of the unfortunate incident when Miss Green was stabbed, Soseki-san had just been to a bookshop and brought them. That's right. And now those 3 titles are here in the room of the victim. Yet, Mr. Natsume claims never to have seen them, to have been here before. What does this mean? What does this mean, you think? I really don't know what to make of it. Pile of familiar books. Ugh. Okay, let me just check that real quick. Even Mr. Shakespeare even Mr. Shakespeare didn't need candles, it seems. We've already established that he didn't eat soap either. Do you think perhaps the guests brought this candle here last night? Even if they did, does it reveal anything about the guest's identity? Good point. There goes my ideas. Not felt like that candle will be. If you sigh so deeply, Mr. Naruhodo, you're in danger of blowing out the candle. Okay, so the candle proves nothing. It's the books. Of course. If she became a monster... she is such a sass master. Susato is so sassy. You'd be forgiven to believe that... To not know that Sasuto is 16. Actually, no. It's actually totally within reason to believe that a 16-year-old would be so sassy. Oh my gosh, look at that face. I can't with that face. What the hell is with this dude? Sorry, wrong button. Indeed, what reveals the answer, of course, is this pile of familiar books. Quite so. It's no mere coincidence that these 3 titles are here in this room. It's the link to the truth. Ah! Mr. Natsume, you purchased these books 4 days ago at a second-hand bookshop. That's just a coincidence. In that case, will you be able to bring the same 3 titles from your own room? Will you not? This very moment. No, never, not negotiable. That's Merc. I can't with this, people. If you can't bring your own copies here, it proves that these 3 books are in fact yours. pose. Having purchased your books 4 days ago and returned to your lodgings, you were arrested the very next day. So, you could conceivably have brought the books here on that evening. But you never mentioned that. In other words, you could only have brought these 3 books here onto the victim's room. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, how many poses do you have? Last night, having returned to your lodgings after the trial concluded at the Old Bailey. Oh, wow. In short, there is only one possible conclusion. The victim died here in his room last night as a result of poisoning. And that same night, the victim had a visitor. And that visitor? No. Was you, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Thus concludes the final act of Herlock Sholmes' great deduction. Okay. So, Mr. Natsume, are you actually gonna tell us what's the issue here? Because if you're not the killer, let's say you're not the killer, and considering that this case takes place in the past, you're not the killer. You have to tell us what you know. You don't want to die in prison, do you? Because I sure as hell don't. Not again, not again, not again. Not again. Well then, Mr. Natsume, it will appear you're gonna have to accompany down to the yard. Again. Wait! All your horses! Yes. Door! Key! Lock! Entry! Exit entirely impossible! I still stand up, Jack Ripper. I mean, why not? Potentially. He's so flustered, he's being even stranger than normal. Why, you think that's an alibi? You could have just made a copy. Whoa. You live in the same building after all? You're gonna have plenty of opportunity, I'm sure. Misery me! Sorry, sir. You'll get your chance to give your side of the story later. The facts speak for themselves, Mr. Mustache. You horrible Herlock Sholmes! He really has found himself an arch rival now, hasn't he? Come on now, no dilly-dallying. Outside, there's a carriage waiting. Welcome, student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. I never imagined I'd be in this position again, but you have to help me. Please, please, I'm innocent. It's stupid, but I still stand by. I mean, we haven't seen the killer yet, so it could be Jack the Ripper. Considering that we got Herlock Sholmes and we got Mr. Shamspeare over here, Jack Ripper could easily make an appearance sometime. One can only hope. Alright, I understand. We'll come to your cell later and talk about it. What year is it? I don't think they specify on this game what year is it. But let me see. Huh. I don't think they specify, but this is very clearly the early. I keep pressing the wrong button. I think he has steam coming out of his eyes. Shh. He is so inflamed that his tears just steam up. That's what's going on. I think this is like the early 1900s. It said 1888. I could see it. 1888, I could see it. And one more thing. Yes? My poor little kitty cat. Please give him his breakfast for me. Oh, poor kitty cat. And so, his evil curse still apparently unbroken. Sasaki-san found himself once again in the prime suspect in a case of murder. Thanks to the incriminating deduction of the great detective. My dear fellow, that honor belongs to you. No, it does. Oh, come on. I guess it does. Well, at least that means Inspector Gregson is no longer here. We can examine the crime scene in more detail now. Yes, that's right. And, of course... What? Have you forgotten that what the inspector mentioned before? He was the landlord, Mr. Gary Dabb, who discovered Mr. Shakespeare. Ah, Mr. John Gary Dabb. Yes. I expect we could find him in his sitting room at the top floor, as usual. Right. We must remember to go and talk to him later then. Alright, let's start the investigation, officially. Okay, let's see what... Okay, there's not much in these shelves, is there? Just this wine glass and bottle. And both of them are cracked. Yes, not much use, are they? Oh yeah, the costume. We're checking the costume. What's the matter? Oh, I was just reminded of the... She's summoning him. She's summoning the Ripper for you. Oh, Persecutor Lord Van Six? Yes, he's so reckless with his wine glasses. I was thinking it's a way of saying he should donate some to the needy. Do you think the needy actually needs wine glasses? You can suggest it next time we meet. Totally caught. She's summoning him for you. Okay, look at these extravagant bright costumes. Somehow they look out of place in this room with this green shady going on. This one looks like a king's attire. A king? I've always dreamt of being a king. I think you'd be more suited for a feudal lord, like Adamio or such like. With a shonmage not the top knot. Sorry. Every Japanese man wishes he had a shonmage. Oh, you look wonderful with one. And you already have the sword. Can you imagine what would happen if I walked around the streets of London with a shonmage and a sword? Okay, I need to figure this out. I need to find out, like, what's a shonmage? Shonmage hair. Oh, that one, the top knot. I can only imagine Ryunosuke with that type of hairstyle. Let me see if I can show it. Okay. Where are you? Oh, you won't show? Come on. There, imagine somebody with that That would be so... That would be so funny. Of course, I could never pull that off, by the way. I would never be able to pull that off. Okay, let's look at the victim itself now. Hello, Mac. Exactly. It's literally Max Payne. Well, is it Max Payne? Well, I was gonna say, you know what? Forget I said anything there. Let's just continue. I stumble upon my words. Oh, hells no. I'm gonna lock my door right now. What the hell? The poor man, so young to die. Do you suppose it was a very painful death, being poisoned as he was? I don't know. All we can do now is hope that he'll be reborn to a better life. Yes. Grandfather. Suppose you're right, I wonder. Do you think that putting our hands together in a Japanese prayer will help a British soul? Sorry? I made sure I had a reference ready for such an occasion as this, actually. This book is entitled The Beginner's Guide to Praying for the Departed, the British Way. I'll just reread it now. One moment. There's quite a spine on that book, isn't there? We'll be here a while. One of the teacups that Mr. Shakespeare and his guest drank from last night. But don't go drinking from them, Mr. Naruhodo. There's a bit of poison inside. I was not planning on drinking any of it, don't worry. Anyway, both cups are empty. Do you mean back? Back? I guess. That's true. So one was Mr. Shakespeare's. Let's see. Probably that already escaped my mind, sorry. And the other must be the cup that Mr. Natsume was drinking from. But Soseki-san wasn't poisoned, of course. Perhaps we should take these so we can examine them in more detail later. Oh good, we have evidence. Finally some evidence. So I'm assuming this is the fuse box or the something to the matter. And here we have another disproportionately large machine. This looks like a meter of some kind. Ah, this is a gas meter, I think. Oh, the gas. Probably. A little bit of a story here. My previous apartment, and Windy can attest to this. My previous apartment had pipes all over the ceiling. I'm hoping those were water lines, because if they were not water lines, holy crap. But I never thought those pipes were any level of secure or safe. But you know, you do what you can when you don't have any money and you literally can only afford a studio apartment. I'm glad I'm on a better place now. They got hot on winter. But not in the summer. In the summer they were kind of cool. It's inside the district, residents pay for gas as they use with coins. Ah, I see. So now you pointed it out. I can see that there's a slot just there that looks like it would take a coin. You're telling me it was also an itty bitty $800. Oh yes, $800 for a think about this: $800 for a studio apartment versus $1,000 that I'm paying now for a 2-bedroom apartment with a proper kitchen and 2 storage rooms. I think that's a nice upgrade. Also, you're telling me that people in the olden times had to pay a coin to get gas, you know, for warming up and whatever? That is just disgusting. So you mean if you put a coin in there? That's right. That would buy you about 2 hours of gas for lights and heating. So if you were a poor person with no money, you'd have to sleep in the freezing cold? Yes, or if you were a scatterbrain with no change because you forgot to exchange your money at the bank. Oh, that would hurt. I don't know what I would do if that were my case. Thank goodness there's no meter in our office. Okay, I need to check the stage. What the heck is with the stage? This is some sort of makeshift stage, I think, isn't it? Where does the audience sit, though, for the nightly Shakespeare's performance? I mean... Actors aspiring to the great stage must practice their art, Mr. Naruhodo, with or without an audience. I guess that's what I'm doing. I mean, I do have an audience, thank you for being here, but... it's like... Guess that's what I'm doing. It also radiated Meth House apartment feelings. I mean, I kept the apartment relatively nice. But the whole place was definitely not really nice either. Yep. I have to say, the fact that the apartment was really close to the Little Caesars was both a blessing and a curse. In fact, on a related note, perhaps you should set up a mock bench for the defense in your office. What? Then you could practice your art every single day. I'll think about it if you promise me. If you promise to don a beer and play the role of the judge. Well, if that would help you achieve your goal. Okay. Where is my fan art of Susato with a beard? I mean, we already got Susato as a pretty boy lawyer. Give me Susato with a beard. Somebody out there, do it. This I have to see. Okay. Is there nothing else? It's just that? Wait, this! What's this? It looks like part of an envelope, I think. Well, if so, she became a he. I mean, that's essentially what happened last case. She pretended to be a he so he could be a lawyer, so she could be a lawyer. So, just go full Monty, get the beard. Yes, I think you may be right. Perhaps it was torn off when the letter was opened. The woman with a beard is not so... Do you have a type, Death? Do you have a specific type? Because woman with beard. Now you're asking for the exceptionally rare. Well, it's a little out of place perhaps, but when you look around the room, there's no sign of a letter or the rest of the envelope, in fact, is there? Huh, she's right. And yet, here we have the torn off end of an envelope. It just strikes me as unusual. I agree. We'd better take this just in case. Okay. Okay, this conversation has gone places. That? A ripped piece of an envelope that was found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. The rest of the envelope could not be located. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find the rest of the envelope soon enough. Yes, we already know about this. As we see from the outside, the window is completely bricked up. A vestige of the former window tax that Britons had to pay. What strange things they used to tax in Great Britain. I haven't checked, and I don't know if this is true or not, but taxing by the amount of windows you have in a building, it's so weird. I seen it, but woman with a beard isn't one of them. I don't know. Here a second. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm back. Maybe. You don't know in the future what technology might give us. Hi, back. I'm Dad. Dad, you're back. You finally came back with the milk and the cigarettes. I mean, making people pay for the number of windows they had in a property is extraordinary. It's heartbreaking to think the poor are having to block up their windows just to avoid an unaffordable tax. Oh, what is it, Miss Susato? If you look closely, a number of the bricks are loose. What? Oh yeah, it looks as though an amateur has broken out a few of them just here. Was it Mr. Shakespeare who did it, I wonder? Being the lodger renting this room. I know! Look at this, Mr. Naruhodo. On the outside, there's a little ledge. And there's something on it. What? Outside? Okay. We need to check this. Oof, it's so cold outside. You can feel it through this gap. It did snow last night. It would be cold. But more importantly, what is it on the ledge out there? What are these snow-covered lumps? It's more parts of soap? Soap? What? It's just more soap! What are you doing with soap? It just reminded me of that. What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I have no idea. But the pair of them seem to look rather charming like that. Still, that's very strange, isn't it? Bars of soap lined up beside the window, ready for more poisoning, as Dad said. I think perhaps we should take one. There are two after all. Take both of them, because maybe one of them is different than the other. Oh dear, I suppose we could. What's this? Look here at this soap. Whoa! You see? In the middle there. There's a patch that's a different color. It's sort of transparent, but... some sort of fancy design, I suppose, only in Great Britain. It looks like the Hinomaru flag in Japan, doesn't it? How wonderful. It's probably a very expensive brand. Expensive? Then what's it doing in this ramshackle old room? Bar of soap has been entered into the court record. I need to look at that. They're smuggling chocolate! 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 Okay, that's what we needed to explore. Looks like you're having a good snooper, Ronai. Inspector Gregson! Back so soon! After I threw a little Japanese fella in the clink, I went and reported this to the investigation division. In 5 minutes' time, this place will be cordoned off by the yard. Oh, I see. Well, we'd best be leaving then. Poor Mr. Nasume must be feeling very low. Being back in the cell again so soon. I'm sure. I will probably go and what the no! Ah! What the hell? What the hell? Satan! Be gone from this realm, you devil! What's wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Ah! Out! Out! Rift Candle! Lies but a walking shadow! A poor player! That struts and frets this hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Yes. Now soundeth the next part. A tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Oh my god! I need more Pepsi for this. Drown our sorrows in Pepsi together. Indeed. Oh, happy day. Oh! Look at that! Thanks, Satan! The fellow isn't dead at all! You shouldn't call the coroner, you should call the hospital! What was the nonsense he was saying, though? I think, yes, it was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth. Soliloquy from Act 5, Scene 5. Shakespeare. So it was that the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, came back to life. If the man had indeed been poisoned, it transpired that it hadn't killed him. He was taken by emergency carriage to a nearby hospital for treatment. And Inspector Gregson evicted us from the scene of the crime. Whatever that now was. I need a drink. I need a hard drink after this. And I don't drink. Oh. What even is this game? Okay, let's save real quick. Oh my god. What even is this game? Okay. I think... no wonder why this game never left Japan. I'm in. I'm glad it left Japan eventually, but... I can see why we have problems leaving Japan. Okay. I think I'm all brained out. Like, there wasn't much in the way of puzzling, but holy hell, what the... I need a time to think about this. Okay, I think that's it for today. I just realized this thing. Wait. Sorry. What the heck? Sorry. No, wait, you're not seeing any of that. Sorry. Okay. Never mind, I'm not making any sense. No. I just have OBS in studio mode, and I thought that something that was put in the other screen was on the main screen, and it's It's kind of silly. I mean, I'm pretty transparent right now. Like, I'm all tired out. I'm all tuckered out. I'm all brained out. So let's call it a stream for now. And I'll see you guys on the next time, next Saturday, for more Ace Attorney. Oh my gosh, this game. See you guys later. Have a wonderful, fantastic day.